Hello, welcome to the Toad in the Hole practical. So I'm going to be showing you how to make a lovely recipe of toad in the hole that you can have as a great family meal. The ingredients that you will need is some plain white flour. Okay, so you will need 150 grams of plain white flour. You will need 2 eggs. Okay, there's my 2 eggs. You will need 150 millilitres of milk. So I've used semi-skimmed milk in here. Remember, when measuring out milk in a jug, the jug goes on a flat work surface and you make sure you're at eye level when you are taking that measurement. You will need some salt and pepper for flavouring. So there's my salt and pepper. Can you see that in there? And you will need 6 to 8 good quality sausages. So there's my sausages all lined up in a baking tray, ready to go into the oven. And I've put about a tablespoon of oil in there as well. Okay, so I'm just going to lower the camera so that you can see what I'm doing. Here we go. Alright, the first thing that you want to do then is to preheat your oven. So my oven has been preheated on gas mode 7 for about 20 minutes. And I'm going to put the sausages into the oven to get them cooking whilst I'm making the batter for the Yorkshire pudding. Remember that when you are putting things into the oven and taking things out of the oven, you always use oven gloves. Okay, so I'm going to put this into the oven and then I'll get on with making the batter. Alright, so whilst those sausages are cooking, we can then make the batter for the Yorkshire pudding. So this is basically a Yorkshire pudding batter. So if you can master making one of these, not only will your toad in the hole be perfect, but you can also make the best Yorkshire puddings for maybe a Sunday roast dinner. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do with this then is in my large mixing bowl, I'm going to sieve my flour. Okay, so that's my 150 grams of plain white flour already weighed out, and I'm going to sieve that into the bowl. The reason why I'm sieving it, one, to get out the lumps, but also I'm aerating the flour. Okay, I'm adding air into my Yorkshire puddings. Because we're using plain flour, there's no raising agent in there. So we've got to add some type of raising agent. So here at the minute, I'm adding a mechanical raising agent. So I'm adding air into my flour to help that rise. So I'm just tapping it to the side of my hand to get all of the lumps out of the flour. Okay, so there you go. I'm then going to add my salt and pepper, so that can just go in. So that's just for flavouring really. In a small bowl, I'm going to whisk my eggs. Okay, using a fork. So 2 taps on the side of the bowl. Add in your egg. Remember to keep your work area nice and clear. All rubbish goes into the bin. Adopt the rule, clean as you go. And then with your fork, you're going to whisk those eggs together. Again, I'm adding air into this, but the eggs would also act as that raising agent as well to really give a nice rise on your Yorkshire pudding. Okay, into this bowl with my eggs, I'm going to add in my milk. So keep whisking, add the milk. Okay, so now I'm going to add this to my flour. So I'm just going to make a well in the centre, so basically make a hole in the centre of the flour, and I'm going to add in my egg and milk mixture. I'm going to use an electric whisk because I really want to get some air again into this mixture. I want to aerate the mixture. So I'm going to add this in and give it a really good mix. I want to get the consistency of double cream. I started off with a slow speed on the mixer, and then I'll build that up. Remember all your safety points here. Keep your fingers well away from the whisking blades. Make sure that the wire is away from the whisking blades itself. Okay, let's increase the speed of this. You can see on this that there's plenty of air bubbles being created. That's perfect, exactly what I want. Okay, I'm just going to stop that for a minute, and using a spatula, I'm just going to scrape down the sides of the bowl to get any unmixed mixture back into the centre. And then I'm going to give that another whisk. Okay, if you haven't got one of these electric whisks at home, you can use a hand whisk or balloon whisk, looks like this, but it will just take you a little bit longer to use one of those. Okay, alright, once I've finished then, I'm going to pop those blades out, and then you can get washed up. Make sure you turn off any electrical equipment that you're not using, keeping your area nice and clear. So you want the consistency then of double cream. So to test the consistency, it just wants to coat the back of a wooden spoon like this. Okay, so you can see, although it's dripping off, it is leaving a nice coating on the back of a wooden spoon. If it's too thick, then you can add a little bit more milk. If it's too runny, then you can add a little bit more sieved flour. Okay, make sure you mix that in really well if you use that. Okay, your sausages then should have cooked for about 10 minutes, so that's taken about 10 minutes so far to make. Your sausages should be partially cooked, so they've been cooking for 10 minutes. All right, so you can take those out of the oven. Let's get a cooling rack ready. Okay. And then I'm going to pour this batter all over these sausages. So the oil should also be nice and hot as well. Pour that batter all over the sausages, using a spatula to scrape out all of the ingredients from the bowl. And then this is going to get cooked again for about another 30 to 35 minutes. But you want it to make sure it's well risen and golden brown. So this is going to go back into the oven for about half an hour. Now, it's a really important rule here when making Yorkshire puddings and toad in the hole, that you do not open the oven door until it is finished, otherwise your Yorkshire puddings will sink. Okay, so we'll come back in 30 minutes to see how that Yorkshire pudding and that toad in the hole has turned out. Okay, so see you in 30 minutes. Hello, welcome back. So it's been about half an hour and my toad in the hole should be ready to come out of the oven. Remember, always use oven gloves when taking something out of the oven. Always make sure you've got an adult present when doing any type of cooking, okay? All right, let's have a look. So there's the toad in the hole. It's golden brown. You might still be able to hear it sizzling. It's very, very hot. Make sure you've got a pan stand or something to put your hot tray on. Okay, like so. Okay, so that's toad in the hole. The recipe is on page 68 of the school recipe book that you can refer to, along with all of the ingredients and the method as well. So I'd like to see your photographs of your completed toad in the hole and some comments about tasters and what they've said about your toad in the hole. All right, enjoy, bye.